Hey everybody, I'm Bayla Walker here at Rural King to speak with Miss Ann Wilson. She is performing tonight at the National Peanut Festival, and we are so excited to have you here in Dothan.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Of course. So let's talk about that album. You just dropped it in October. You talk about faith, family, really like healing. And I know that you lost your brother a couple years ago. So how has that had an impact on your music?
A huge impact. A lot of my music is, I'd say 99% is written out of the place of loss, and what I've had to kind of learn through that and how I've grown as a person. But this record specifically is about my 23rd year of life. I turned 23 in February, which was the age that my brother was when he passed away. And so it was like this year of realizing, I guess, that I was going to get to live longer than he ever did, and wrapping my head around that, and then just how I wanted to like soak up every bit of life I could, you know, while I am still here. And so this record is a lot of like reflecting and healing and kind of learning from what the Lord has been showing me in my life.
So you're 23, I just turned 25, so happy late birthday to you.
Thank you.
And I know that you have a devotional, right, for young women. It's very important for us as we're growing up to be able to talk with older women who may have been able to go through the same things that we did. You talk about finding your identity and your worth in Christ. So I'm curious, who was that for you when you were growing up in your teenage years?
I would say my mom, but also Lauren Daigle, another Christian artist. She was very inspirational for me and just like reminding me of my identity. But my mom was so big in that. Like I remember being a little girl and her always telling me like that my identity was in Christ and that I was loved no matter what I did and no matter the mistakes I made, and that I was beautiful and that my worth wasn't in what people thought about me, but that it was what Jesus thought about me. So my mom's been a huge inspiration for me.
And you said your mom has been a huge inspiration. I know Christ has as well. So I'm curious to know how your faith has kind of been tested. I mean, you're climbing up on this ladder, and I'm pretty sure you probably went through a couple things. So how has your faith been tested along the way?
I would say in a lot of ways. I mean, I'd say the biggest thing has just been like being in an industry that wants you to do everything but follow your faith, you know, and the world can be very influential and like pushing you a certain direction. And for me, it's been like, okay, I'm going to stick true to what I'm made to be and what I know I should be and the things that are my like core values. And so I think that's probably been the biggest thing, just learning how to overcome that and how to stick true to like what I believe in and what my values are. But I mean, there's been a lot of hard moments, and you know, the stresses of traveling all the time and the pressure of being only 23 and having so many people look up to me and look at me all the time. Like that can be a lot. But I feel like it's a constant reminder for me, just like through the loss of my brother, why I do what I do, and that's to ultimately share the gospel and then to be able to like write songs that inspire people and give them hope and joy and peace and all that. So I keep that in mind.
Well, I know that you're passionate about it. I can just tell talking with you. Lastly, you wanted to be an astronaut. When you were younger, you talk about that. I think it's just so funny. I actually wanted to be a pediatrician, and you see I'm doing something else.
I love it.
So what do you say for people who had one dream, right, growing up, but then they're called to another dream, another passion? What do you say to those people?
I think that for me, I've learned that my dreams, what I thought would be good for my life, is not near as good as what God's design was for me. And I think that music was all along what He was wanting me to do. But I finally had to get to that point where I was like, okay, I'm going to let down what I thought was my plan was for my life and allow God to lead that. So I think for other people in that place, I think just first thing is pursuing the things that you are passionate about is amazing. I think that's where you start, especially for younger people. Pursue what you're passionate about, pursue what you enjoy, but also pursue the gifts that God has naturally given you. And for me, it was like a voice, and I didn't even recognize that or know that at the time. But once I started singing more and more, it was like, oh, okay, I think God's given me a gift vocally, so I'm going to use that. And that's what I ended up doing. But I think for people listening and just going through that time of like maybe trying to figure out what they're doing, I would just say pursue what you're passionate about wholeheartedly, but also hold it loosely and be like okay with the fact that that might not be what you do with your life, but that there might be something far greater that fits you better in the future. So
always be open to transitions, because you never know where God can take you. Hey, He's led you here. Yeah. He's led you here in Dothan for the National Peanut Festival. We're excited to have you perform. And lastly, what makes performing here in these small towns just so special to you?
Well, I'm from Lexington, Kentucky, but grew up going to my family farm a couple hours from there, and so I have such an appreciation and love for small towns, and there's such a family feel, especially here at Rural King. Just makes me feel like I'm back at home in Kentucky, and it just has such a sweet family home feel to it. So I'm really excited to be here. I've never played the Peanut Festival, so I'm so excited, and it's just going to be such a fun night.
Well, we are so excited to have you here, welcome you here. You're part of our family now here in Dothan. So thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us.
Absolutely. Thank you.